Well, more importantly, it is time to get to the grades, and this is it's kind of a tough game to grade.
Is it?
Maybe it isn't. Well, we'll see what the professor has in store for you.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, the professor is back. I would put no B+. There's no way. That is the lowest grade I've given this year. This has been a fun year for the professor. You know what I mean? Like, it was last year's depressing grades on a weekly basis were horrible.
We get a little bit more variety this year.
Yes. All right, let's start off with offense. Offense, I gave a B+, 2. Some of the things that stood out for them. Total yards, they had 328, 229 passing yards. They were great on third down, 7 to 13, 100% on fourth down. They were 100% in the red zone. The things that really held this grade down a little bit, 99 yards rushing, which is really one away from the goal. 2 fumbles were lost, and they allowed 1 sack. But what we don't see on those numbers are where there were missed opportunities, and I saw there were at least 5 to 6 throws that I thought that I know Caleb would want back. We clean that stuff up. I think those numbers jump up even higher, and we get an A+.
I'm shocked by the positive score. I thought you were going to be a little harsher, and I like what you're underlining. It's a good job, Professor.
See, so sorry.
Let's Hogue notes. Let's get them in.
No, I just TV copy rewatch last night. Haven't gotten through the coach's film yet, but so I counted 5 of those kind of errant throws that you'd like to have completion. Now, no quarterback's going to be perfect, so
Correct.
I'd like to see that number down to like 2, maybe live with 3, but 5 was too many. However, I also counted 8 really good throws, and a lot of those happened, if not immediately following one of the errant
bad ones,
like a few plays later. So just rewatching last night, felt a lot better about Caleb Williams' performance than maybe I knew the third quarter was good, and I felt good about it after the game, just how he responded in the second half. But even the first half, that I was kind of down on him a lot live yesterday during the game, it wasn't quite as bad as I thought.
Mm-hmm. Outside of his rocket arm and his underrated speed, Caleb's superpower might very well be his ability to believe in himself no matter what. That dude, whatever happens, he's got the ability to move forward. And they showed him, yesterday, right before coming on the field in the fourth quarter, taking a huge deep breath, which I'm sitting there watching and thinking to myself, is he putting too much on this? Look at that deep breath. Maybe it's too big of a deep breath. That's the weird thoughts that were going through my head.
Yeah.
But look, he's however you want to underline that superpower, it's a great thing that he has.
Yeah, well, as these offensive grades continue to do well consistently, defensive grades consistently stink, okay? D- for the defense, all right? So we gave up 345 yards, 159 passing, which is very good, under 200 yards. That reaches our goal, 186 yards rushing, and this is an area of major concern for us. And I know that there were 2 big runs, but there were still 2 big runs that were given up, one right before half. Steelers were 8 for 4 on third down, which is not good for us. That's over 50%. They were 1 for 3 on fourth down, which is not bad for us. We did get to the quarterback 2 times. We took the ball away on Montez Sweat on a sack fumble. We had an interception, a hell of an interception by Nashawn. He should have had 2. Steelers were 100% in the red zone, 3 for 3. These are the reasons why the Bears defense earned another D- or another low grade.
Yeah, it did look too easy once they were down in the red zone each time. I want to ask you about one play in particular and then the linebackers as a whole. But I tweeted out, if people want to check it out, because we can't show the video here on the show, but I tweeted out this morning the play Ruben Hippolyte got hurt on, which you have Darnell Washington coming in motion from left to right. And I don't think he saw him as big as he is, because Hippolyte was lined up like basically as an extra edge rusher right on the line of scrimmage. And so he goes on the snap, and Washington comes across the formation and
smacks him.
Boom.
And he ends his day. Yeah. So the problem that I have with that play is when you get down into that area of the field, I'm sure the percentage of them running plays similar to this right here, it pops up. So for Ruben, or any of the linebackers that are going to be there, you need to be aware of where that tight end is. You know how large he is. You know what kind of force he can bring. He gives defensive ends headaches blocking as a tight end. And, when a defensive end lines up with a tight end, that's a win. That's typically supposed to be a 99% win, but not with that guy. With that guy in particular, know where he is, and if he's motioning across or flashing across, you better get your butt down. You better get your pad level down because he's going to knock you out.
And he did, and Ruben's going to be thinking about that hit for probably the rest of his life. We're trying to forget it. I'm curious, the Kenneth Gainwell 55-yard run out of the tush-push formation, if you will. Who's when you looked at that, was that mainly a linebacker gap, or what are we looking at?
It does fall on it. We didn't set edges at all very well. There weren't linebackers that were coming downhill, especially if those defensive ends were running some sort of game inside. You got to come down. You have to hammer the ball inside, and we didn't get enough of that. Last week, the tush push reverse or whatever play was run. So it's supposed to be a on notice for all teams. We have to practice that. Now, the Bears missing all of their starting linebackers, and we talk about, being able to manage the set amount of time that you get each day. I thought they did a great job. I thought their coaches did a great job preparing the backup linebackers to come out and play. I think they played their ass off. They were communicating, and they were definitely not perfect. Like I said, they didn't set edges very well, but they had great effort, and effort showed in how many tackles that Jackson had, during that game. But they're not perfect, and if there's going to be a hole, it would be on a play that you rarely see during a game.
So that's my disappointment with that, was because probably every week in the NFL, there's probably a handful of plays on whatever phase it is. Sometimes it's special teams even, where a team runs something that, like you put it, every team's got to be on notice. Like, that's got to be put up on the board.
Yeah.
Hey, the Ravens ran this crazy play with Mark Andrews out of the tush-push formation last week. You guys got to see this. We got to work on this week. Now, here's the only thing I will say, and shame on me for not knowing this off the top of my head, but I'm also not paid to be a coach who's got to, deeply scout the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I don't think the Steelers were really a tush-push team with Aaron Rodgers.
Correct.
I don't remember them running it with Aaron Rodgers this year. Have I seen every snap? No, I have not. But I also, knowing Rodgers, do not think he's
not a tush-push candidate.
He doesn't want to be touched right now.
Him, yeah.
I don't, especially, the tush, I guess.
Bad tush.
Yeah.
Bad tush.
He doesn't want to be pushed in the tush.
The bad tush.
Okay. So I don't know if they've run it this year, Rodgers, or not.
Tushy.
So maybe that credit to the Steelers. They put that in this week with Mason Rudolph, knowing he was going to play or whatever, and then they had a counter off it. So sometimes you get beat, and that was certainly one of those examples.
Yeah, I thought it was worthy of a shout out. Let's keep rolling here. What do we got for special teams, Lance?
Special teams, I gave a C+. I didn't see anything extremely that really stuck out. Cairo made the kicks that he needed to. I thought Taylor, our punter, did a good job. He did a really good job. Pinning that ball inside the 10. And Duvernay made all of his catches. This is an area where an expert like Adam Hogue could really help out.
Yeah. I would probably I would say this was one of their better games of the season on special teams.
Cairo made a 47-yard field goal, and he did some dirty kicks. What else you got?
Well, he didn't. No missed kicks, which is great. Honestly, my only complaint off the top of my head is I two nitpicky things, but again, we're trying to raise the standard here. I'd like to see the Gunners just get down there and make a play. Like a couple times they were still able to pick up like 10 yards or something on those punt returns. And then as good as Torrey Taylor was, that last punt went in the end zone. And I thought that from that distance, you should be able to get that inside the 20, if not the 10. And so for somebody you used a draft pick on, those are the moments.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be big moments like this coming up in the season where I want to see the punter really pin them in. But that kickoff is becoming a weapon for Cairo Santos. That dirty kick.
Yep.
The Bears won the field position battle. Their kickoff cover unit was great yesterday. So I'd probably at least go B+, honestly, Briggs, if on the special teams grade.
And I'm not mad at that. Typically when the jump for the grade, to get to an A, special teams, score or set up a score, is big because that phase, because I believe that phase is so important. Like there's 3 phases and special teams is just as important as the other ones. So if we're scoring or we're setting up a score, we cause a fumble, we turn the ball over, or we turn it back over to our offense. These are some of the things that I'm really looking at to jump. Other than that, doing your job is doing your job.
And let's get the last one in our coaching so we can do our but first on time, which is very important.
Coaching, I gave a C++ to, and really it's an average of the offense and the defense and the special teams not bringing it up high enough. I thought it was a good job, and Ben does a good job each week. And you look at the leadership that which we talked about in the opening of the show. It's all reflective, and at 8-3, you can't be mad.